Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Turnabout Podcast. I am your co host, Aris.
And I'm Lucie.
Oh my god.
The name reveal.
Absolutely.
Surprise.
And welcome back to Turnabout Podcast.
Welcome back.
So, this week, first of all, spoiler alert. Let's get that out of the way.
Oh, that's a good one. Very
Yes.
early on.
Very
Perfect.
early on, taking no hostages. So, this week, since we thoroughly enjoyed last week's episode, especially recording it, if you listened in, you could tell by how much we were dying of laughter and
Yeah.
we were having a good time. So we are, we're following last week's episode up with assistance episode. Today we'll be covering assistance of the lawyers, the prosecutors, the attorneys, and everyone in between. And honestly, it's something we came up last week. It wasn't even on our list.
Yeah. It came as a flash, as a vision, and we're like, yes.
Absolutely.
And so can we tell what we're doing for next week?
Is it what are we doing next week?
We're doing detectives? I thought we were. We might not have been.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I want to do it.
I think it'd be a good little triangle of the lawyer type of people, then the assistant, then the detectives.
Yeah, I agree. So next week we're going to be following it up with investigators and detectives.
It's a trilogy.
Absolutely. But for this week we'll be going with assistants. Before we get started, we're going to be following last week's structure of a ranking and then 5 to 6 questions each. I think it worked well last time.
Absolutely.
And before that, and before the weekly featured artist, I just wanted to reiterate for anyone who's tuning in or who's new that just some basics on the channel. I thought it'd be nice as a reminder or for anyone new that we are posting, our current posting schedule is Monday and Tuesday. And also I've kept linking the charity
animal rights.
Animal rights and to stop animal cruelty links below since before our break. So if you want, or if you're new, you can check it out and maybe donate to any of those organizations. It's for a good cause. But other than that, are you ready?
Absolutely.
Today's weekly featured artist has a very, very special spot in both our hearts. There's a backstory. So basically, this summer for my birthday, for my 22nd birthday, I visited Lucie in Paris. She had me over for 10 days and we had a wonderful time. And on my birthday, she surprised me with a gift, which is honestly one of the best gifts I've ever received in my life. It was four pairs of Ace Attorney themed earrings.
It was. It absolutely was.
Take it away, maestro.
It's so funny because that day was so chaotic gift-wise for me. And I was just running around because one of the gifts didn't arrive and I was just dying inside. So I was so pleasantly surprised that you loved them so much. So how it unfolded is that I wanted to give Aris an Ace Attorney gift. And I was looking on Depop at all those cool artists, and I was maybe thinking that some of them did badges and stuff, so I looked Ace Attorney out. And that's how I discovered this week's featured artist, which is Snoutfacestudio. And I DM'd them, and I was like, hey, we just started talking and I kind of explained the situation. And they had on their page some Francisca earrings listed, which were wonderful. And I was just like, I would like Francisca, Godot, and Inimini. And we talked a lot, and the conversation was just beyond lovely. It was just so nice. And I just like we had a great connection. I really, really like them. Thank you again for giving us the permission to discuss the work and the earrings and everything. They have badges as well. But basically, when it came, they had gifted us another pair of earrings,
Yeah.
which was Dahlia
Two.
Hawthorne. Two?
Oh. When we opened the box, there were 4 pairs of Ace Attorney earrings. It was
Yeah.
Dahlia, Godot, Francisca, and Inimini.
Yeah, so
All
I didn't order
favorites.
Dahlia,
And
but they
Lou was
added it.
nice enough to include 2 more spare pair of earrings. Do you remember the mushrooms and the little
That's
hearts?
true. And just it was adorable. Like all of them looked so good. I was so happy about the Dahlia one because like it's obviously such a cool character and I think they kind of got your vibe. Like of course you'd wear Dahlia earrings. So I was just so happy everything went well. I was just beyond excited. And yeah, like I was just it was an amazing moment. Yeah.
If
And
there's
so
one,
we now love what they do, like their
yeah,
earrings and stuff.
yeah. There's like a variety, like they do video games, they do like there's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I die for.
Yeah. A lot of
But
memes as well, like loads
yeah,
of internet culture thing, just wonderful stuff.
and if there's one thing, like one air quotes article of clothing slash jewelry that I absolutely adore, like I have a collection of, it's earrings. Like I love earrings. I love swapping them. Like I might change pairs 3 times a day.
Mm,
Um, so not only was it the perfect gift because it was Ace Attorney and earrings together, but also they're like perfect. They're like nothing could go wrong with that gift, I think.
I always give you some eeny meeny related thing. It's always related to eeny meeny. Because for those who don't know, for just the new listeners, last year I like did a recreation of eeny meeny's outfit. I drew it, which was honestly turned out good considering I'm not that
It
well with
turned
my
out
hands.
perfect.
I remember so vividly. It was Position by Ariana Grande had just dropped as I was listening to the album while doing it. I was so concentrated. So yeah, a lot of eeny meeny gifts. But yeah, I was so happy to be able to like give you something Ace Attorney related. Just and I know you love earrings. I was like, Ace Attorney is gonna be on you every day.
It was a great ass gift.
Also,
So
what if like you wear the Godot earrings one day and your soulmate is just like, is it Godot? And can turn around and be like, yeah. And he's be like, I love him. And you're like, me too. And then your hands will touch very slowly and it'll be it. It'll be love.
if he recognizes your Godot earrings, put a ring on it.
He's the one.
He
That's how you
is the
determine
one.
it. Yeah,
So thank
absolutely.
you so much, Lou, at snoutfacestudio. Great username, by the
Yes.
way.
Amazing. They actually it used to be something else, but I think they unified all of their like pages and stuff, and I love the name, like Snout Face Studio.
Mm,
Wow, amazing.
yeah. We'll add their link tree below so you can go cop some cute jewelry or keyrings or
Yeah.
stamps or anything else you want.
Don't walk, just run to Snout Face Studio. Like everything on there is so cute. You will not
Absolutely.
do any fashion faux pas. Everything is cute.
Mm. So yeah,
And
now
also, I'll just like to add great packaging. Nothing was like broken or anything. Just as a customer, 5 out of 5 star. Amazing.
And super kind and free stuff. I mean, come on now.
So many freebies. Once again, don't walk, run to Snoutfacestudio.
Absolutely. So now, who do you want to do the rankings first?
You?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of characters have taken the mantle of being an assistant, even Phoenix. So we thought, to be fair, for our rankings to be fair, we would rank the characters based on how good of an assistant they were, instead of like ranking our favorites, because then it'd be unfair.
It's the assistant-y scale.
How assistant-y they are.
Exactly.
So I'm just gonna kick off my ranking, and first up is Raymond Shields.
Okay.
For those,
Raymond, okay.
Yeah, for anyone listening who has not watched last week's episode, maybe go back and watch it, and you'll get the gravitas of my statement.
Yeah.
But the best assistant, in my opinion, jokes aside, like, even though we made a caricature of him last week, is Raymond Shields, because imagine he's been like basically continuing Gregory's legacy. Like, we've never seen this from anyone else before. Like, we saw him, like, how long was that flashback? Over 20 years, like with Manfred in the Inherited Turnabout. And then after Gregory died, after he was murdered, like, he becomes a lawyer and he continues to keep the office open. Like, if someone killed Phoenix, Maya would just like go back to Crane. Like, honestly.
Yeah, but the man eats paper.
Well, look,
he might have eaten some evidence.
We'll look
what if
past...
he gives... I think he ate the, like, I don't know, some of the reports Gregory gave him. The man was unhinged.
He did eat paper.
He eat paper.
Is that the only issue you have with him? Not the hugs?
Well, from an assistant standpoint, eating paper when you're like handling court report is a pretty disadvantage.
It's saving the planet.
Sure, he's not that low on my list, but him eating paper and potentially some evidence prevented me from putting him higher. But you're right, because I'm laughing so much because I'm just thinking about last week again. I'm gonna try to compose myself. But I do get what you mean. I hadn't thought about that. Like, what a legacy he had with his mentor. They definitely had a very strong bond, that's for sure.
Like, he wasn't, when we first see him in the flashbacks, he isn't a lawyer.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like what Phoenix did with Mia.
Yeah, definitely. Well, but Phoenix was like, yeah, I guess. I was gonna say he was already kind of in the realm of the law before she died, but it's true that when she met him, he wasn't. So yeah, I was very surprised when he said that at first. Now I can understand it better, and I am not mad at it. He does deserve some credit for that.
I'm happy we see eye to eye.
Yeah.
So first is Raymond Shields, then Kay Faraday.
Okay, yeah.
Although we don't see her in a trial, which is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, like, I was when I was doing my ranking, I was basically assessing what did they bring to the table. So Kay, I mean, she might not be Maya, but Lil Thief,
Lil Thief was really helpful.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, Raymond Shields, Kay Faraday, Mia Fey.
Of
She's
course.
helped us out countless of times, like turning over the receipt, for example. Emma Sky with her scientific analysis and examinations. Maya Fey because an absolute fucking icon.
Yeah.
Athena Sykes, and with her Apollo Justice. I just ranked Athena one place over Apollo because I like her more, but for me they're the same. Like they're certified.
I did the same thing.
They're certified attorneys, you know.
Yeah.
Like they know their shit when they're being assistants.
Exactly.
Because they've been in the position of being the attorney before, so they know what good help means. Then Trucy Wright, because whatever, like, sure. I was thinking also she did stage that fake kidnapping, which was smart.
Yeah.
With
in
Mr.
the stolen.
Hat.
No, in the.
In the Turnabout Corner.
Turnabout Corner, yeah.
Absolutely. So then I have Sheena because although she stabbed everyone in the back, even Shilong Lang, I mean, it takes effort for someone to coordinate taking off their sunglasses with the people they are assisting. I don't know.
That is true. That takes like a level of understanding of who the person is. You need to know when they'll take off their sunglasses. You need to understand that about them. And so, yeah, I respect that.
I feel like I know we've kind of moved on from the Shilong slander.
We found a new victim.
Raymond Shields.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Raymond Shields. But I don't know, I feel like Shilong Lang would be like the Miranda Priestley of Interpol. Like, he'd be so fucking annoying to be like, find an assistant who would, like, he'd want like, did you put 3 grains of sugar in my coffee? I specifically asked for 2.
I think you're correct because we do know that he doesn't find a new assistant after she leaves. He doesn't have one in investigation too. He hasn't been able to emotionally recover from the loss of his beloved assistant.
Absolutely. He becomes a lone wolf, to quote the man himself.
He has to make his own coffee, which is horrible.
So I feel like Sheena, although like at the end she stabbed him in the back because she was like batshit crazy, like Callisto Yu,
as one does,
poster girl for lunacy and insanity. At the same time, I feel like Shilong Lang is a notorious boss / asshole. So credit be given where credit be due.
Yeah.
And then I have Blackquill because as much as I don't like him, he put Athena into shape when she was stuttering in Turnabout Storyteller. And we also get that cool animation where it's a POV shot of him grabbing you like this. You can't really see me. I'll try to find a video and put it on screen. But I feel like, if I remember correctly, there's a POV shot of him grabbing you.
When?
In Turnabout Storyteller. Like when you screw up or something. Wait.
Oh, let me try to find this.
Yeah, I want to find it now.
POV shot of Blackquill.
I can't find a GIF of it, but there's a video. Here it is.
Oh.
Super
Get
menacing,
your shit
threatening.
Together?
Absolutely.
The man is cursing? Wow.
I know. Kinda. I'm gonna regret saying this when I'm editing, but kinda hot.
The badger? the Badger Man?
I don't
Oh
know.
my
Like
god.
him grabbing you in the middle of court. Like, sir, calm down.
But to be fair, personality-wise, I date Blackwell. If I
Oh,
found Blackwell
absolutely.
attractive, but his personality is so hot.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Like, you could have the little hawk.
He's also unhinged. Like, the man is crazy. The
I feel
man
like
will
he'd get our
take you to
humor.
watch. What?
I feel like he'd get our humor.
Yes, and I feel like he would take you like on your first day to watch lobster fights at the aquarium, at the food
Yes.
market. You know what I mean? Like insanery would unfold with him. I think that one day he would come pick you up in a rented DeLorean and pretend he's trying to go to the future. Like the man is, deranged. And
in in
you
a
like that because he
in a
keeps you
rented
on edge.
tuxedo.
Yes. Yeah. But like an 80s one, like a prom tuxedo.
With the little frills.
Really? Yeah, yeah, totally.
Also, lesbian scientist sister-in-law.
Like the family is already cool. I want to be associated with them. I love that instead of slandering, we're actually, going on and on about positives for once.
It's
Yeah, I can see
shocking.
that. Blackwell has a great personality. I am happy that you're finally getting on the Blackwell train. It's a
Oh,
great
now I
train to
wish
be
he'd
on.
rank higher.
Ah, it's okay.
Okay, so yeah, 11 is Rafa because although she gets on our nerves, um, it was a nice change of pace, and I think it was super interesting having the dynamic with Phoenix. I know we've said it like countless of times, but I think
Yeah,
Phoenix's dynamic with Rafa is much more believable than his dynamic with Trucy.
yeah, agreed.
And honestly, at the end, I kind of felt bad for her as well when like her dad died.
Mm, it was sad.
I mean, imagine POV in a single day, your dad dies and you learn your mom is an evil octopus lady. And what do you get out of the trial? You go to live with Nayuta.
So cool.
You learn
Nayuta's
Nayuta
the
is your brother.
best. Also, your brother is Nayuta.
I'd like rather go to foster care in Kurain.
Oh,
So yeah,
and your cool dad is dead. Your real cool
Inga
dad.
was cool.
Yeah, but like your real dad.
Oh,
I liked Inga.
I liked Inga too. He
I
was
mean, he was
like
kind
a
of an asshole, but it was heartwarming, like the relationship with Reva.
yeah.
I
I
like that.
agree. So number 12 is Pearls because I think first of all I hate children and second of all I think she had like no other purpose other than like whining, crying, and channeling Mia when Maya wasn't there. So sure, pop off Queen. Like who the fuck cares? Number 13 is Chris of Gavin because although well basically he didn't bring anything to the table. Like here I was like, okay, these are the like meh. So Chris
Yeah.
of Gavin, sure, pop off. 14 is Diego Armando because you did mention him breaking that cup last week, and it kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't know, since last week, I've been thinking about it a lot, and kind of that moment gave me the ick. Like,
Mm,
I don't really want to be associated.
understandably so.
Maybe the comma was for the better.
I thought he was your husband. Well, the comma allowed him to become your husband. The second coming of Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I feel like Diego Armando, like, I love Godot, but Diego Armando, I can't really vibe. I feel like he listens to Icona Pop, you know?
I was gonna say, he gives me frat boy energy.
Mm,
Mm.
I don't know. And then 15 is Phoenix Wright because honestly, There was that fake evidence gag. He was absolutely abysmal as an assistant.
Yeah.
16, and now we get into heated territory. So 16 is Maggie Bird. I do not like her,
Yeah.
and I leave it at that. 17 is Nayuta because he did
Yeah.
absolutely nothing to help Queen Garen as her assistant. Like
He was just
nothing.
standing there.
Yeah. Just watching. He was manifesting. Manifesting her win.
His daily affirmation. Nayuta, you're kind, you're important.
I mean, it can't really get worse than that, but honestly, with the last two, it kind of did. Like, imagine it being your first trial ever, being anxious as hell, and you turn around and someone's talking about their hemorrhoids.
He's in rank too high on mine as well, but I'm surprised on bottom 2.
No. The man, we were in trouble by Winston fucking Payne, and we turn around and someone says, my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake.
I love you, Grossberg. I love you so much.
And
especially since last week, since we've established he tried to get with the cool kids. I just love him.
We're really hitting it like full on with the characterizations.
Yeah. I know who's your last one. I've deduced it.
Please do the honors.
It's a child.
Of course.
It has a dog.
Absolutely.
And it's trying to sell you stuff.
Mm-mm.
Drum roll. It's Albie.
I'll be your guide. Like, I thought I would reach a new level of hate with Maggie Bird, but then he came along and he proved me absolutely wrong. So thank you for that, I'll be your guide, because you are, like, literally, how can you assist your defense attorney and try to convince everyone in the court that the lawyer is evil? How?
It was a bold move. It was a purely bold move.
At least Maggie Bird, Nayuta, and fucking Rosberg's hemorrhoids tried helping out. I'll be your fucking guide did the reverse. He tried to sabotage us. Like, sir, do you understand? If we lose, you're gonna die. You're, like, gonna be sent to the, like, Kurain fucking, I don't know, guillotine.
But wasn't he, like, trying to prevent us from, like, defending him because he thought we were gonna die? Like, wasn't he trying to sacrifice himself for us? Wasn't there an element of that? Where he could I feel like you don't like him because he's a child. And
Pearls did rank higher.
Yeah. Yeah. But if he was an adult, would he have been the last?
No.
You can't see me, but I'm pointing and laughing. I mean, you can hear me laugh.
Take that.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, there was some choice to surprise me in your list, but I liked your reasoning for a lot of them.
Like my number one.
It made me... What?
Like my number one.
Like your number one, like Sheena. It made me rethink some stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're gonna implement the thoughts now?
The what?
like you said, it made you think about stuff. Are you gonna implement those newfound
Oh,
thoughts?
not really.
Hmm.
I think
Okay.
I should just stick to my original ranking. Even
Okay.
though now, if I done it now, I might have ranked a couple of one, you
Ah.
know,
What?
upper, higher. Higher is the
Okay.
word I was looking for. But I like upper too. So I have a very
I'm gonna make
vanilla.
graphics for. I'm gonna make graphics for these like last week. So go with your original plan and then just.
Exactly. That's why I'm keeping my. I was like, maybe I could switch those two. I'm like, nah, I won't make
Yeah.
it complicated.
Okay.
So I have a very vanilla top three, which
Hmm.
was who is the most assistant for me, and the first one is Maya. It's just she embodies the assistant role for me. She just
Absolutely.
is. So I ranked her first because she's my beloved as well. Second for me is Mia, just by the fact I was thinking about Pearls, and I was like,
Hmm.
Pearls is super helpful just because she can channel Mia, and
Yeah.
Maya is also an amazing assistant because she can channel Mia. So I was like,
Hmm.
Mia is such a MVP. She's so valuable. Like
Yeah.
she's the only person with common sense throughout the entire series. Like she just solves the simplest of things. She's just the greatest. I love her. So my third is Pearls because she can channel Mia, and that was really fucking helpful. Surprisingly enough, I didn't expect that. I do think it was influenced by the fact that I played Corner recently. But my fourth one is Druzy
Hmm.
for that stunt she pulled. Like she has some tricks, and she's really she's taking charge, and she's gonna get you to where you want to be. Like she's very resourceful, and she's not afraid of taking risks for you, who is
Hmm.
her the person she's being the assistant to. I liked her. Then I
I
have
just wish
Kay.
like the writers knew what to do with her because I feel like she
Yeah,
started off strong with that stunt, and maybe we could see more of that, but we never do.
true. That's why I say that my vision may be, it's like I have selective earring, and because
Hmm.
I've just seen that really cool element. But I do think she's a fun assistant, and she
Yeah.
does feel very assistant-y to me
Hmm.
because it feels like she almost has no life apart from Apollo's trials. I mean, she has her magic, I guess so, but she's the magic assistant. That's She's an assistant. Like that's just who she is. Then I have Kay. Little Thief is brilliant, and she's so much fun to be around. She's just the greatest. I have Emma Sky. Then my top six was just the assistant, like people who I really see as assistant.
Hmm.
And Emma was so valuable, like
Yeah.
forensic stuff, great. Then I have Raitha. She's my
Okay.
first kind of out of the main assistants. She was just a really cool dynamic, and as a princess, it gave like loads of funny storylines and plot. I just liked it, and she was also the only assistant who I felt was slightly dumb and had defaults. I think assistant also have this tendency to be kind of perfect and just like the bubbliest person on earth. I like that Rafa had a bit of she was annoying sometimes, and I like that. And she was a kid who didn't know stuff, and I liked her overall. Then my next one is Diego for two reasons. I was like, if I'm gonna have an assistant, I'd like it to be someone who knows about law, and he's a lawyer. So I was
Hmm.
like, that is helpful, and also he is very hot,
True.
and
True.
he's a sight. So I was crowded. My judgment was crowded by his good looks. I do think that it sucked when he broke that glass with his hands. Like that wasn't a good move. But because I feel like I'd expressed that sentiment last week. I just kind of slightly moved on this week and just forgave him. But yeah, like, please, dude, I already just lost. Please don't break silverware. It's just annoying. Um, my next one is Raymond. He isn't that low on the list, but I think he might have ranged higher if he didn't eat paper. I've already stated my case. I like, imagine if you had to like take care of your files. He'd eat everything. You wouldn't find everything. All the evidence would be lost, and I think that's a serious threat.
That's low-key
Um,
disgusting. Like, imagine
yeah.
getting coronavirus from eating the papers file.
Oh, Raymond Shield started the pandemic. Raymond
Oh,
Shield worked in a lab and ate some piece of paper which contained a virus and spread it by hugging people, forcing them to hugging. Mm.
oh, 1,000,000%. Like, he
That's the
ate the fucking
new,
paper and then started spreading it by the fucking hugs. Oh
yeah.
my fucking god.
If, if every time I'm gonna see or hear something about the coronavirus now, I'm gonna know who started it and how. By eating paper.
It was
You should
Uncle
go on my
Ray all
strange
along.
addiction. Yeah.
Billie Eilish, My Strange Addiction.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Then I have exactly how you said it, Athena Apollo, for the same reason as you. I liked Athena better. I feel like she was a more engaging assistant. I know legit was, she used her talent during your trials, whereas like
Hmm.
Apollo didn't let you use his bracelet. And they're both in the law world. They know what they're talking about. I feel like they're helpful assistant. That's also why I have Blackwell on my
Hmm.
as my next person. Same reason. He was fun and he knew what he was talking about. Um, I have Albie then. I'm kind of entering meh territory. Albie was very meh to
You
me.
placed
Not
fucking
horrible.
I'll be your guide over your husband.
I did. I for assistany, I sure did. Um, I then put Grosberg. I did not find him very helpful talking about his hemorrhoids as well, but to me, he wasn't as bad as the next five people that I'm gonna list. Um, on the bottom five is Nayuta,
Hmm.
just bad overall. Just yeah, he didn't do anything as an assistant.
Manifesting
Uh,
bestie.
yeah, I have Maggie Bird then. She was just awful. I hated her. She was so annoying. Like, we are trying to help you. Ow, I don't have to justify my actions to you. You are my client. First of all, what are you doing next to me? And stop mooching off me. Truly. She was so annoying. So
If there's
frustrating. I
if
really don't
there's
like her.
one character I love that we have mutual feelings on, it's her.
She's so annoying and I hate her design. Like, ugh, yeah.
Ma'am, you're in your 20s. Why are your fucking hairs gray?
And why is it so spiky? Don't steal Phoenix's look. But bottom three is Sheena. For the simple reason that she kind of betrayed everybody, and that wasn't a very
Really?
assistant thing to do. And kind of, yeah, stabbed you in the back. I did not, take in the glasses aspect of it. That's one of the things I was like, she was synced up to him. But yeah, so she was bottom three. Bottom two is Phoenix. He was just a bad assistant, and I love him. But he was awful, and I was thinking mainly about Apollo Justice. He gave us false evidence. He wouldn't he knew who did it and wouldn't tell us, and was just like being mysterious. But also, like during Athena's trial, he kind of took, like, he was supposed to assist in us, I guess, and he came and he took over the entire trial because we had an anxiety attack. Like,
What?
he's such a, in the first case ever of Dual Destiny, Athena
Oh,
does the
yeah.
first part, and then Phoenix comes over and takes over it. Like, he could have been
Yikes.
like a good mentor and like, hey, just relax, I'll be by your side and I'll help you. And he was like, oh, I'll do it myself. Imagine if Mia did that when Phoenix started fucking up in the first game. So for me, Phoenix is a bad assistant,
Mm.
but not as bad as my bottom, uh, which is Kristoff, because he was the real culprit of the case he was helping us solve. So, you know, in my book, that's pretty. That doesn't bode well, assistant wise.
Honestly, how much of a fucking dumbass do you have to be to go to the trial where you committed the murder?
Exactly.
Like, how much of a fucking idiot do you have to be?
And he was just standing there.
Just say you're
Like,
sick. Say you had
just,
explosive diarrhea. Just don't
I was
go.
gonna say that. Just say he ate, you know, spicy food last night and that it isn't going down well. You know, just like, just don't go. Just be like, I trust you. He was the dumbest man on the, like, imagine.
Fucking. Yeah, go on.
No, at a loss for word. He's
Fucking
just
Manfred
so
von
dumb.
Karma lost his winning streak, committed a murder, and took a fucking holiday to go recover with a bullet in his fucking arm. I think you
Exactly.
could like keep your distance from the courthouse the day they're like fucking having a court proceeding on a man you murdered.
Nobody wants you here. Like, nobody
No.
cares. Just go home.
Such an
Huh.
attention whore, honestly.
I know. It's like he was asking for it. He wanted to be caught. He was like, woohoo. Yeah, he was my last one.
He was he showed up being like, who could have done the murder? He was
Oh
like pointing
no!
at
I
himself.
hope they don't catch the real murderer and punish him. Oh no!
Very kinky of you, Christoph.
I know. He was wearing a shirt on his costume saying, "Spank me." I've been a very naughty, naughty boy. I've misbehaved. I hope they don't catch me. Oh, Krista.
Honestly, he's such a fucking like I hate him so much. Like how worse could you have done it? Like showed up with the murder weapon in your hand?
Yeah, just a dumbass, a
Jesus fucking
full-on
Christ.
dumbass.
But
That's the
honestly,
only way I can describe him.
I'm happy you told me that you're reconsidering some of them because after the Black Quill Mandalorian, not Mandalorian, DeLorean, the rented DeLorean thing, I'm hoping he will earn a higher spot.
Ah, when we update our tier list, I hope it will be reflected in yours.
He will be in the S tier.
Yes. Just wanted to tell you something that I just thought about. We played Turnabout Corner in French and realized Clavier isn't called Clavier in French. His name is Conrad.
We've talked
It's
about this.
Christoph and Conrad. I just re-remembered it. Maybe we've discussed it, but just wanted to share once again.
That's
The
it.
French
It's interesting how they
localization.
kept Kristoff.
Yeah. And also, like, clavier is the same word in French. So
Hmm.
why would they change it? French localization has been strange. They've localized stuff in a weird way. Yeah.
Luigi della Bocca.
Benjamin Hunter.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Yeah. Benjamin Hunter for the win.
Um, Also, kind of just now remembered Sheena's fucking collapse animation. Doesn't Shilong Lang snap his fingers and she comes forward with a fucking book or something?
Oh.
Like something like she gives him evidence. Ah, fucking damn it, wait.
I'll try to find it.
Are we featuring her next week as well?
She's not really a detective.
I mean, she did try to arrest, like, apprehend Kay in the fucking most atrocious way possible.
I'm not so sure about this one.
Oh yeah, it's not a book, it's a scroll.
Oh. Assistant Queen trying to help out.
Absolutely. But yeah, like if she was in the detective section, she drank last, like she was like, Kay did it. And Edgeworth was like, how do you know? And she was like, because I saw it. Like, sure. Sure. Okay.
Sheena,
Are you ready for
you're just
questions?
full of shit. Yeah.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Yeah, I am. Do you want to go
So,
first?
yeah. So, my first question, Bestie Sock, is give Manfred von Karma an assistant.
Ooh. Well, now that we've discussed it, I think someone like Sheena.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think someone both evil and devoted. I mean, Sheena minus the backstabbing. But I feel like he would want someone who's really like synced up to him and knows what he wants, and also
See,
someone with like a bad person basically to their core, like an evil one.
the thing about Sheena, though, is that her motivations were always so self centered. Like,
Yeah,
even in the Yatagarasu, like, she was making money and she kind of backstabbed her co conspirators.
yeah. I think like imagine Sheena in like 40 years. She's
Mm.
now very old. She doesn't have energy to do crime, and she lives through Manfred von Karma crime doing. Like
Yeah.
she's kind of devoted to him because she doesn't
Mm.
have the energy to misbehave anymore. You know, an old evil lady. That's how I
To
imagine.
misbehave.
Oh, old bag, Wendy Oldbag. That's just Wendy Oldbag. That's exactly what I'm describing. Yeah, so Wendy Oldbag,
Can you imagine that duo?
a powerful duo. She
Oh
would
my
love him. She
god.
would adore him. She would do anything for him.
I need to see that. Like, I need to see an interaction between Von Karma and we haven't got enough Von Karma. That's the thing. Like, one of my favorite memes is that post I sent you of it's like I remember I think I saw it with you in person. It's when Gregory says in Investigations 2, this man is so rude, and someone wrote in the caption, "Wait 2 more days and you'll see how rude he is."
Yeah, very true. You'll find out eventually, yeah. But I feel like that really speaks to how great of a character he is. He's only in
Yeah.
like 2 cases, and he's like a legend. I love him so
Mm,
much.
absolutely.
Who would you pick?
The bellboy.
Bellboy. Evil
Going
and
back to my
kinky.
roots.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he'd like simp for Von Karma. Like he'd do
Yeah.
anything,
I think he'd be like, teach me your ways. He'd want to learn. Yeah, definitely.
but never even exceeding. Like it wouldn't be like even a protege. Like it'd be
Nah.
like pure idolatry. Idolatry.
Mm, just fan behavior. I would love to see him with the same animation he has when looking at like April May
The red
that he
face.
has. Yeah, while looking at Von Karma. Just like raging moaner. just like, Miss Von Karma.
I've missed him so much. Just talking about him. The
I know.
Bellboy.
But the Bellboy episode is coming one
Oh,
day, eventually.
absolutely.
So stay tuned for that.
So what is your first question?
My first question is something that I wondered while doing the ranking, and it's what, in your opinion, makes a good assistant?
I think like definitely like being assertive, but like knowing when to shut the fuck up. Like Maggie Bird was assertive, but like didn't know
Yeah,
how to shut up. Whereas like Mia, like although she was this like omnipotent, like omniscient figure, like she would never like
goddess.
interrupt Phoenix.
Oh, true.
So like I think it takes courage and like able to like stand up and be helpful. Like I don't know, maybe that's why I put Trucy so low because her interjections are just like never there. Like she never actually
Mm,
speaks up, and I think that
yeah.
kind of bothered me.
Mm, I get that.
What about you?
I think like for me the biggest thing was like a fresh perspective.
Mm,
Like they bring something new to the table that you wouldn't have without them. And that's like Trucy doesn't bring a lot of that. Like so I get that. I think that also is like I don't know. I think like during investigation, it's so important to bring someone who's gonna like shed light onto things you wouldn't have thought of without
mm,
them. Like Maya did this a lot, and I think you were right about Raymond Shield with like the relationship with the boss in the assistant boss relationship is so important.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't know. Like for instance, Grosberg and Mia couldn't like I didn't really care about the relationship. You know what I
Or
mean? Like there wasn't a
Kristoff.
strong yeah, Kristoff, I didn't care. Like you need to sense the friendship and the connection. And like there are so many moments where like I'm taking them as an example because for me it's like the OG, it's like Maya and Phoenix. It's just like they are family to each other and
Yeah,
Maya makes jokes during trials and during investigation. It's really funny. It brings like such a breath of fresh air, yeah. So perspective and relationship were the two big factors for me.
Did you ever watch Netflix's Daredevil series?
Nah.
So it's based on the comics, and do you know the story?
He's blind. That's all I know.
Beyond that,
He do crime.
Daredevil is the alter ego of Matt Murdock, who is a New York-based attorney. He's a lawyer, but he's blind, and he made his best friend. I can't remember his name for the life of me. Something like Bogey or something. He met his best friend while at law school while he was getting his degree. And in the series, although they open their like little tiny, like you see them like putting the sticker together on the door or something, like they open their like little law office together and it's really homey. They find a secretary together who becomes a main character. I think it's Karen. Her name is Karen. But like, and then at one point in the series, he leaves Daredevil and joins a company of lawyers.
A big law firm.
Yeah. And I kind of wish we could see that in the series. Like, yeah, the reason why Phoenix and Maya work so well together is because they're like family to each other. Like, they're like best
Yeah.
friends. But I wish, like, I mean, Grossberg law offices we saw kind of the shade of that, even though he was Mia's mentor. Like I want,
Yeah.
and with Christoph and Apollo, I feel like that's what it used to be, like just an employer or like not a mentor, like
Yeah.
something so cold. I want to see that.
It could be super interesting, and also the dynamic with colleagues, like trying to steal cases,
Yes.
rivalry, friendships. It could be really interesting in a more cold setting. And I think that's what they tried to do with Turnabout what was the name?
Which one?
Academia? The
Turnabout
in Dual
Academy.
Destiny. Turnabout Academy. Like, yeah, but I think in an adult law firm could be so interesting.
We kind of see this with the prosecutor's office, and maybe that's why they don't have assistants.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, yeah, but I just to like finish it off, I really want to see the corporal world of like a side of the law because everything we
Yeah.
see is so personal with everyone. Like even Phoenix and
Yeah,
Edgeworth were
everybody's
rivals.
broke. Everybody's broke.
Yeah, that
Like,
too.
give us some high stake cases making banks, you know?
Like a company which has disposable lawyers, that could be interesting.
Definitely.
So my second question, Bestie Sock, is do you think Maya would ever become Phoenix's assistant if Mia wasn't murdered?
Hmm. My initial answer was like, yes, absolutely. I could just see it working. But I do think there would be an element of like, this is a bit awkward because my sister's your boss. And I think like Mia wouldn't love having Maya every day at work. I
Yeah.
feel like she could be easily distracted by her. So
Hmm.
I think, um, I don't know. I want to say yes, but I think potentially no.
Hmm. Yeah.
What about you?
Realistically,
Yeah.
I said no. I
Mm,
think imagine if like first of all I took the logical route of thinking the entire possibility and if Mia didn't die, how would Morgan Fay's plans put into motion? How would she put her plans into motion? But for making
because
Pearls a Supreme.
Mia had already renounced, even before she died, her Crane title, I think, by
Hmm.
leaving. So, first of all, Mia would be Phoenix's assistant, I guess, if she hadn't died. Like, she would still be pretty present in his work. And I guess, I guess she would try to do the same, but I guess Mia would be the one defending Maya.
I don't know. I feel like if Morgan Fay put her plans into motion, I feel like it would create a necessary drama for Maya. And because Mia'd be alive, Maya would be like, why don't just like abandon this like my big sister did? Like she'd look up to me and be like, leaving is
Yeah,
also an option, and Morgan is toxic. So I can see Maya kind of being
true.
Mia's assistant instead of Phoenix's if she didn't
It
die.
could really work. Yeah. I could
Mm.
see, well, that's a question for another time, I guess, but apart from being a Crane master, what job would you see Maya doing?
I don't know. An
I was like, I
accountant.
just thought about this. What? An
An
accountant?
accountant.
My God. We'll
That
have
that
it's
requires
a
thought.
yeah, it's a question for another time, but we'll keep it in mind.
Like something like wild, like maybe like an extreme sports rider or like a diver or an astronaut or something. Or then I can see her like when she's matured because she liked the Korean Village exhibition so much. I can see her like being like Emily Gilmore in the revival and becoming a
Oh,
museum curator.
yeah. I was thinking I could see her as a photograph. Like,
Yes, like Laura.
photographer? How it's
Yeah,
spelled?
photographer.
Yeah, photographer. I could see like doing both like very dangerous reportage and like going in a like super lonely part of the world, or also just like doing great and kind of just I could see her
Hmm.
do that. I think she has the right personality for it. She likes to take risks. She's
Yeah, I
adventurous.
agree.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that. Yeah,
Hmm. Okay.
loads to think about. Loads to think about.
Lots to think about.
So my second question was, if you're a lawyer, who would you like to be as your who would you pick as your assistant? And then I wrote both from the real assistant list and other character. And would you pick the same assistant for investigation and trials?
So, can I choose differently, or do I have to choose
Yeah,
just one from everyone?
you can choose differently.
Okay, from our list, definitely Maya.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be her friend so badly. And I definitely want her around for both court and investigations.
Okay, I could see
Yeah.
that.
But if I had to choose from overall, I'm actually gonna pick two characters from a same case,
Okay.
and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised when I say that for my investigations part, I would like Sasha Buckler to be my assistant,
I knew it. So I know who's the second person.
and during the court proceedings, I'd want Norma de Plume by my side.
Absolutely.
Like, imagine
Absolutely.
having Norma de Plume as your assistant, like the fucking cock destroyer next to you. She'd be slamming the desk. She'd be like
Yeah.
calling out names. She'd be bringing out the receipts. Like, she'd be hiding shit in her trench coat. Like, what a queen,
It would
honestly.
be so great. I feel like she would gossip with you about like the bailiff and
Yes.
stuff. Like she would be both like relaxing and like she would be so much fun. I love that answer.
Hmm. What about you?
I was also thinking Maya for the main part, but I was thinking like knowing me, I would love just to hang out with her. So just like for investigations, but for trials, I think I would need a more reassuring presence. Like Maya, I think is great into like finding out stuff during investigation by just like talking or saying random shit or just
Hmm.
going where she's not supposed to go. But I think for trials, I need to be someone like I was thinking maybe Mia or Francisca, like someone who's a lawyer who knows the law and could
Yeah.
actually be like snap out of it and concentrate. Whereas Maya would be like, just distracting me, I guess. So yeah, those were my answers. However, the equatic turnabout response is gold, and I would like to spend time with both of these women, Norma de Plume
Yes.
and Sasha Buckler. Actually, I would like to be Norma de Plume. She's just so much fun. And when it ends that case, she's still at the fucking aquarium. Like you have a cutscene of where they all are, and she's still there harassing the poor what's the name of the veterinary animal doctor?
Dr. Krabs.
Dr. Krabs, and she's still harassing him. It's like, I don't understand what she's still doing here, and I love that energy for her. Like, I want that. I just want to be able to annoy people and not care. So, yeah, this is a Norma de Plume love channel.
Did when you were I know you took a more vanilla route for your ranking, but one aspect I want to ask if you consider when ranking, because I did, but I forgot to mention it, is that Maya kind of like landed on my fifth spot on my ranking because she did get kidnapped.
Oh, but at the same, yeah. The thing is, like, Maya, as a lawyer, you want to defend people, and Maya does bring a lot of business into the house.
Yeah.
You can't say that she doesn't bring you trials. Homegirl is
Like,
getting accused of
even
murder every
Bridge.
2 seconds. Yeah, but yeah, she's a bit. She's not the easiest assistant to have, that's for sure. But she's my baby. I had to.
Absolutely. So, my third question, Bestie Sock, is which assistant would you, from the ranking list, would you want to see become a lawyer eventually?
Huh.
She's really bringing it with the questions today.
Very interesting. So I'm going to exclude people who already are lawyers, like
I mean,
Sheena, Blackwell,
yeah,
Athena, Polo,
Athena.
Diego. Uh, Rafa.
Rafa?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
good
Rafa.
answer.
I was gonna say M Sky, but we've
Mm,
already discussed it. Rafa could be fun.
yeah.
Because Rafa would be like a very Francisca lawyer. So I think
Would she
this
be a
could be
prosecutor
really,
or an
really funny.
attorney?
I would like to see her as an attorney.
Mm,
Bring a little more edge.
okay.
Oh, imagine Rafa as a judge. Oh,
With the
don't
death
we trust
rate.
her to judge characters? Yeah.
Yikes. Like the spiritual successor to Justine Courtney.
Oh, exactly.
I wanna,
What
like,
about you?
what is Justine Courtney doing after the time jump? That's what I wanna know.
She'll be turning 16.
Oh my god. Yikes.
She's Benjamin. What's the fucking name of that thing?
Benjamin Button.
Yeah,
Something like that.
that's her.
My pick would be Kay Faraday.
Oh, good one.
Because I kind of want to see her following her dad's footsteps and become a prosecutor who's also a thief at the same time.
I get that.
Like the second game is all about like inheritance and legacies and mentorship, and I think through the guidance of Edgeworth, she'd want to like avenge her dad's legacy by becoming the like
Mm,
new Yatagarasu and be like a thief who's also a prosecutor. Exactly.
yeah, I would
But
love
yeah.
that for her. Stealing the truth away. She definitely has the heart to be a great attorney.
Mm. Do you think she'd be an attorney or a prosecutor?
Well, more an attorney from what we've seen, but her dad was a prosecutor,
Yeah.
so she could follow him in his footsteps. What about you?
And her mentor is Edgeworth.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, what is your third question then?
My next question comes from a thought I had while doing the ranking, and so that I wrote down in my notebook furiously, and this is what I wrote. No, how do I phrase this? No consistent assistant post AJ. They bring such a fresh perspective, and then I added a lot of exclamation point in my little notebook. I was I was mad. I was very mad. So I was thinking it's true from you know after Apollo Justice you don't have one singular assistant the way we had it in other like games. You just have your fellow colleagues as assistants. So who would you pick to be an assistant in Dual Destiny and in Spirit of Justice?
Hmm. I mean, Spirit of Justice. I wish like it was fully based in Kurain, so Rafa could be it. I think if all the cases were based in Kurain, we could see more character development,
Yeah.
and that'd be great because she's already like we've seen development, but it was just through those three cases.
Mm,
Well, 2 actually. She doesn't show up in the first one, does she?
No.
Oh, doesn't she show up for the divination seance?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she does, but she doesn't really speak to us that much.
Yeah, true. But for Dual Destinies, I'm thinking maybe Trucy again, like going by what we've said time and time again that we'd like them to stick to one singular protagonist. If it was
Yeah,
Apollo, then I'd want Trucy, but if it was Phoenix, I'd want Athena. Yeah.
understood. And if it was just Athena? Or a Blackwell?
Yes.
Just someone who absolutely hates your guts?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like I love the dynamic Athena Blackwell.
I agree. I
Like find
genuinely
another
agree.
prosecutor.
Mm,
Bring back Francisca.
yeah.
I don't care. I wanted so badly to say something so random which doesn't make sense. I want to see Athena as an attorney and her assistant be Sebastian the Best. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Oh my god. That would be. I feel like that would be the battle of the puppies. Just two
Like it'd
puppies
be
going at it.
unhinged.
Yeah. But honestly, kind of samesies.
Mm,
You're like, I was thinking Rafa for Spirit of Justice, absolutely. And I was, the thing is, I was thinking for Dual Destinies, and I get what they decided to do that, like pick the other two. I also think that it was Athena takes care of so little case, and it's what's supposed to be your introduction game. So by
yeah.
making her the assistant, it gave the feeling that she was there more. And I think that was kind of a coward move, just like, you know, you should be ashamed of not putting her more. Putting her as an
Mm,
assistant isn't gonna fix that.
I agree.
And I love Athena and Blackwell. I think that was just one of the. It was a really great part of Turnabout Storyteller,
Hmm.
and it doesn't have a lot of great parts. Just doesn't.
Of course.
So yeah, I agree
I
with
was
their
expecting
answers.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my fourth question, Bestie Sock, is a little more discussion based.
Mm.
I ask, um, we often talk about the air quotes assistant curse, which sees all the assistant characters following the Maya blueprint and seemingly becoming duplicates and at the end of the day kind of useless. What would you want to see change?
That's a great question. The first thing that came into my head was male's assistant. Like having a guy
Oh,
assistant could be a great way to change it up.
like I'll be your guide,
Uh,
for example?
great example. To be fair, it did count our list. It featured 10 women and 9 men. So it wasn't that like female based. There was a ton of men, but the for the men it was more like, oh, there were only here one trial, like Grossberg, Diego Armando, Christoph,
Except for
Phoenix.
Raymond.
Raymond was a great assistant. Um, and I think like that was the only real big assistant, like
Yeah,
true assistant.
yeah.
And I think that already changed the dynamic. And I think it brought something new to the table. And my thing for just stop trying to make your systems perfect. Just
Hmm.
like have them be dumb or rude or lazy. Just bring a little bit of flaws, and I think they'll already have a singular personality compared to the other. Because don't get me wrong, I love the Maya spin-offs with Kay and Emma and Trucy. They're just so like,
The
you
same.
know, yeah, and just I don't know how to say this. Just there's no ripples. They're very
Yeah.
smooth. And yeah, just bring a little more flaws and maybe change it up with, design and
Mm,
genders and age. Seeing an old man as an assistant could be really fun.
yeah.
Grossbrook 2.0. What about you?
Funny enough, I said something very similar to yours. I wrote down my answer here. I said, basically, I thought that even if you change the character stick, it doesn't change their personality that much. Like, I'm gonna say
Yeah.
something controversial, but as much as I hate it, like, Emma is scientific Maya, like, Athena is just lawyer Maya, like, Kay is thief Maya, like,
True Seas, Magic Maya.
exactly. Like, the
And to
overly
an extent,
joyful,
Pearls
cheerful.
is
What?
Kid Maya. To an extent, Pearls is Kid Maya. Like,
Yeah.
she's a
Like the
bit
baby
different, but
version.
yeah, exactly. Oh, the video I sent you.
So, like, it's always overly joyful and cheerful, and it gets
Yeah.
exhausting at some point because it's all the same. And I think the reason we both love Rifa as an assistant was that she was so stuck up and unwilling to help and generally derived from the formula. Like, I want to see
Yeah.
someone who doesn't get along with the lawyer.
Like, you cannot say that Rifa is Princess Maya. Like, their
No.
personalities is just opposites.
Yes.
So, yeah, agreed.
Mm.
Very
Like, that could
much.
be the development. Like, start off arguing with the assistant and then end up the game, like, becoming, like, besties.
Exactly. Like, bringing change and having relationship progress and characters change is such a great thing that you can easily add to your game.
Yes.
Like, that would be great to see that kind of. Well, we saw that in the first game, but it was great to see Phoenix and Maya start to be friends, like genuine
Mm.
friends. The Polo and Trucy, for me, there wasn't really this progression.
No.
I feel like it was just like, oh, we are now assistants. Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Um, Trucy and Apollo felt like student working on an assigned project together. Like it was decided by a force beyond them. We were just like, okay, sure. So yeah, we would love to see that progression, and the way that Phoenix earned Rafa's trust was a great storyline.
Yeah. And I have two things to add here. First of all, I agree with you that we need more male assistants which are permanent. And the thing I love about Raymond Shields is that, like, I don't know, like, he honestly might have been an anomaly. Like, he's not a Maya duplicate, but I still
Yeah,
stand by what, like, putting him in number one. Like, even if you take away how much of a creep he is with the, like, paper eating and the hugs
yeah,
and the perversions and, like, all that, like, it's pretty heartwarming. Like, it literally, I know it brought both of us to tears when he puts the picture of Edgeworth next to the picture he has with Gregory. Like,
definitely.
if
And I
Phoenix
really
ever
buy their
died,
story.
you know?
Yeah, like it was just you can feel that Gregory gave him a chance and that this little act of kindness literally changed his life.
Yeah.
And I think that's heartwarming. I think that without Gregory, Raymond Shield would have never had his shit together or would have had a
No.
completely different life, which I think I can't really say that about other assistant. Even Maya, I
No.
think maybe she would have had less depth, but I think Maya would have been still be the head of Karain, and she was already a great person to begin with. but like Raymond Shield for sure. He has that kind of. I think Gregory saves his life.
Like, it's so heartwarming, like, and at the same
Mm,
time heartbreaking. Like, I feel like it's as if a dog's owner dies and he tries to find a new
yeah.
owner in Edgeworth.
Mm,
Like, it's so sad.
yeah. But
But
it
yeah,
gave him a path. Like, it really gave him a path.
the
Yeah.
second thing I wanted to say is that no spoilers, but and honestly, I don't haven't even reached that far into the game to say a spoiler. But Susato, I think her name is Susato,
Yeah.
is looking to not be a Maya duplicate.
Exciting! Because when I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's
It's Maya.
ancient Maya.
Me
so,
too.
so I'm excited to see about that. Definitely.
She's definitely got spunk. That's what I'm gonna
I
say.
like that. Okay.
So, what is your fourth question, Bestie Sock?
My fourth question is: would you like to see more prosecutors with assistants or judges? How would it affect the game?
Wait, again?
Would you like to see more prosecutors with assistants or
Yes.
even judges?
Hmm.
And how would you think it would affect the game?
I don't know about a judge. I don't know how I'd feel about a judge having. Sorry, I was just searching if her name is Susato, and it is.
Mm,
Um, I don't know how I'd feel about a judge having an assistant. Although I love the idea when we were pitching game ideas, and I said that Justine Courtney should have a bailiff assistant,
yeah.
Paul
What was
Baton.
his name? Baton.
Baton. Um, yeah, Paul Baton. Um, but I don't know. That's like I think that's like an extreme example, but I definitely want to see like prosecutors having assistants. I think that would be amazing, and I think that could be a an opportunity to showcase what we talked about the corporal world. Like, how do things work in the prosecutor's office? Are
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
like you don't really match with your assistant? I feel like you're assigned an assistant and you
Mm,
just have to work it out.
yeah.
And it could do for interesting dynamics. Like I couldn't imagine Francisca having an assistant, but like because of the prosecutor's office and because of like we know they had some like horrible authoritarian people like Blaze the Best at the top of the like prosecutor's
Yeah.
office.
Yeah, it's
Or
always
Lana
evil
Sky.
people. Yeah.
Like I feel like they wouldn't even care about Francisca not wanting an assistant, so they just assigned
Mm,
some idiot to her. Like imagine Francisca being assigned an assistant like Mike Meekins or Larry.
she would kill them, I think.
Like they drive her crazy, and I that would make for interesting dynamics rather than the same old. Oh, your assistant is your best friend, and they're this cheerful girl who cheer you on, like during trial, and oops, they get into
Yeah,
trouble in the end. Okay, we've
absolutely.
kind
Agreed.
of seen that. What do you think?
I have trouble imagining it for the judge. I could kind of see like an off-screen presence. Like I could see the judge being like doing the trials. Oh, please Google this for me, but never to be actually seen. Just kind of like almost like an Alexa or a Google kind of person. Maybe the judge would think his assistant is called Alexa and she's always on the phone with him, not
Yeah,
knowing that his wife bought him an Alexa, something like along those lines. But for prosecutor, I was thinking, I think it would probably change a lot of the investigation segments. I don't think the prosecutor would show up. I think they would just send their assistant.
yeah,
And so it could call for like fun stuff where you thought the assistant was gonna be the prosecutor and you're just like, oh, it's gonna be this 22-year-old who just is super fun and warm, and then you show up it's Francisca and Karma and you get demolished. But to be fair, I like it with, like, so far, I I like it the way it is. I think for certain situations it could have been really fun and really, like, good, but I understand why they didn't put it to some extent.
Yeah. But I do agree with you that it'd be nice if, like, maybe, like, the judge wouldn't have a traditional assistant, but I'd like the banter between him and someone else who would be off screen.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't seen a courtroom sketch artist yet in the series, and I think
Or, someone who takes the notes.
yes,
That would be really fun.
like, I'd want to
Oh,
see
this could be good.
like the judges' chemistry with them, like the bailiff, the sketch
I
artist.
would love that. Kind of like, like Judge Judy or like Parents Court. They're always
Yeah.
really close to their bailiffs.
Yeah.
I would like to see that, definitely. Oh, I like those ideas. It's time for your ultimate question.
Yeah. So my final question, Bestie Sock, is pick a lawyer, attorney, or prosecutor and make Larry their assistant. You had to see this coming.
My last question was choose an assistant for Larry. That's
This
why I also
cannot.
kept. I planned this, and I was like, we're gonna have the same question, so I have a spare last question.
Okay.
So all is saved.
This can't be happening. Like, I'm gonna tell someone to come pitch me from the other room just so I can check.
Why is this? We have the same brain.
2 weeks in a row.
I mean, I'm fully not surprised, hence the spare last question. But this is, please get out of my brain. So, as you said your question, it was clear to me who should it be because we're just discussing it. And I think Larry and Francisca would be hilarious.
Okay.
And when you said that, I was like, oh, have we ever seen a Francisca and Larry interaction? Because he's not in Justice for All. So so in Bridge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it would be hilarious. I love the idea of Francisca having to work with an absolute idiot, and Larry would be that idiot. So yeah. Who would you pick?
She would whip him to death.
Yeah, and he would love it.
Oh.
He would, cry with like those anime eyes, that kind of animation. He would be like, oh no, what should I do? He would really enjoy it.
Francisca and the bellboy would be a nightmare duo. He'd be like...
Because he'd moan as she's whipping him and she'd be like, what the fuck?
1,000,000%.
He'd enjoy it a bit too much. He would mess up on purpose. That naughty bellboy.
Yikes. So, as much as I want to agree with the Francisca Larry one, I mean, it's the obvious answer. I'll switch it up. And I want a cheap direct-to-video movie, like Girls Trip, like a raunchy comedy of Nayuta being paired up with Larry, and Larry trying to convert him from a monk to having, like, sex every minute and every second.
Yeah, kind of like a dirty grandpa Weekend at Bernie's bro comedy.
And I would then love in the end, the final twist is that Nayuta, of course, doesn't have a dick.
Oh, it will revealed at the end. Very
Yes.
American Pie.
Yes.
Yeah, and like the
So
trailer would be like, he's a monk, he's a player, and fate has brought them together.
this
Embark
summer.
on an adventure of a bro time. Yeah, I don't know why it sounded British at the end. I'm sorry about that.
I can't, like, honestly, I want to see that. And, like, Larry would go into so much effort to convert him, and in the end, he doesn't have a dick. And
Larry would be
also,
heartbroken.
oh, 1,000,000%. And, like, you can expect in like the land of Kurain, if this took place there, Larry would have the same fate as Raymond Shields from last week.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Maybe a little less grossy, but a similar one.
Absolutely. Okay. So since we had the same question, what was your spare bestie? Good thinking.
Well, you can choose an assistant for Larry or even for Judge Larry. That was my not spare question.
A what?
You know, in the last episode, we said that we could see Larry being a judge.
Oh,
So pick an assistant for Judge Larry.
huh. I kind of want, like, sticking to what we said before with Francisca. I kind of like want to pair up. I kind of want Judge Larry's bailiff to be Mike Meekins. Like, it'd
I
be the
love
most
that.
chaotic, notorious pair in the, like, entire justice system.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Great answer. My
Like,
original
defendants would
one,
plead guilty immediately.
the courtroom would be so loud.
Yikes.
The decibels would be unbearable. But
What about you?
my original answer was Raymond Shield. Like, they'd be besties. And I think that, like, he could be a great assistant, but also if Larry was a judge, like when he was the judge on like Raymond's case, they would walk into the courtroom and they would scream each other's name like Larry, Raymond, and like the prosecutor would know they're done for. Like they stand no chance. Those two men share a brain,
Oh
and
my
just there's no
god.
getting in between them. So yeah,
Bros.
bros. Bros before laws. But my spare
Absolutely.
question was
Oh, I
if you
thought
were
this
an
was your
assist.
spare question.
No, that was my OG question, but it was like it was the same rel as Larry and an assistant, but it was just
Okay.
the other way around. So my spare question was if you were an assistant, what would your strength and your default be and your weakness be? Would you make a good assistant?
So my strength and my weakness,
Weaknesses, yeah, as an assistant.
I think my strength would be like forming trust really solidly and being a good friend like Maya. Like,
Mm,
I'd help out a lot in terms of like emotional support, and in the courtroom, like, I try to point out things you've missed. Like, I'd be a good fucking assistant, honestly. It's just that my weakness would be like probably getting kidnapped. Like, I feel like in the investigations I'd be incompetent as hell. Like, because I'm so huge as well, sometimes I don't really consider how fragile my surroundings are. So I feel like I'd step on evidence, or like I'd speak badly. or like talk back to the investigator or like get us in trouble with the prosecutor. Like,
Hmm.
yeah. Maybe I'd just be for the court proceedings.
Maybe.
What about you?
I was thinking I have a really good memory, so I think that could be really helpful as an assistant. Like I'd remember little facts
Mm,
because I do remember small unimportant facts. Like I'll be like, huh, he didn't say that. He wasn't wearing that tie the first time we met him. That must be the yeah. Uh my weakness, I'm not the best at stress management. Like I'm a very stressed person. I feel like if there is an emergency, you like if the lawyer was like, "Oh, what do we do now?" I'd be like, "I don't know. I'm having an anxiety attack." Um, yeah, I think I'd be pretty stressful, and also I have a tendency to trust people very easily. So I'd be
hmm.
like, he's a good guy. He got me a coffee. He's not the bad guy. And then 2 minutes later, we found out he was the
Indeed,
murderer all
man and
along.
guard.
Yeah. But then, yeah, I'm very like optimistic and I see the best in people, which I think is not a great thing in the Ace Attorney world. But apart from that, I think I'd be like a pretty good assistant for investigations. Like, I'm very chatty. Aris has experienced that when he visited. Like, I talk to a lot of people, so I think we'd get tons of information that we like wouldn't originally get, and I'd remember little facts. And I'm just overall I
Yeah.
mean, kind of a. I was gonna say I would be kind of a stressed French Maya.
Hmm.
I wouldn't. I would be pretty much one of her, you know, sequels.
In one of our first episodes, when we did imagine ourselves as characters, I said that you would be an assistant.
Yeah, I remember that
So, good
exactly.
memory.
Full circle.
But also, lastly, to close it off, I have changed my pick for an assistant of Judge Larry.
Oh, plot twist.
And I think I would have to go with Mo the Clown.
Great answer.
I think it'd be like he wouldn't be a real judge. He'd get his degree off Google and he'd make a show like Parent Court or like Judge Judy, like we said. And it'd be
Yeah.
like televised through the network of fucking mysterious, like
Mm,
Robert Downey Jr. And
absolutely.
like it would go viral on YouTube and it'd be like Larry turning around to Mo for advice.
Yeah, and Mo would just be giving the worst fucking advice and making the worst pun.
Yeah. Like
I love that.
basically
I want to see. I would watch that.
the Amanda Show on steroids.
Yeah, like those shows are so relaxing, and I would eat that up with Larry as the main judge. I think it would be so funny. Yeah, as you said, Mo, I was thinking. I don't know why, but because we've discussed Bikini being like Larry's mother's, I'm using a lot of air quotes. How would Larry interact with Norma de Plume?
Oh my god, he'd definitely want to fuck her.
Yeah, but I feel like she'd be like, kind of like in Mamma Mia, does your mother know that you're out? And reject him while doing an intricate musical dance number. But yeah,
In the court,
interesting pairing in the courtroom. Yeah. So that was my last question.
lots of ideas.
Oh, what a time discussing assistants. They're truly, underrated. I mean, I was gonna say an underrated part. They're not really underrated, but they're an interesting subject that we hadn't thought about. So I did enjoy this episode
Who
greatly.
would thought the assistant episode would be so good?
I know, and so long, and that we'd have so much to say. I was like,
Absolutely.
oh, this is gonna be 15 minutes. This is
Hmm.
gonna be. This is the ranking, and this is what we think. But loads of interesting questions. Loved it.
And we haven't really repeated ourselves from previous episodes.
Surprisingly, yeah. our brains are just constantly adapting and finding new stuff to say. I think that's one of the comments I receive the most when I say I'm doing a podcast on this very short series of games. Like, do you still find stuff to say about it? And we do. We
We
do.
absolutely do.
All right, Aris, what are you gonna do now?
Honestly, since I stuck with the plain ass introduction and just said my name, then I'm gonna keep it plain and consistent, and I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I am
Mm,
going to export the audio as an MP3 file, switch off my
yeah,
laptop, and go to sleep. What
I
about
love
you,
that.
Bestie Sock?
I have a very good friend who had a pretty important interview today. So I'm gonna ask them about it. So I'm gonna discuss it with them. But they might be tired, so
Nice.
we can maybe do it via text.
Cool. Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone.
We love you, and
And
we'll see you next week.
yes, and we will see you absolutely next week. Thank you for tuning
Love
in,
you.
and good night.
Bye bye.